So before to start, everyone, waiting for everyone to join, maybe a few words about us and TGM Research. For those who may not be familiar with us, so TGM Research is a technology-driven market research firm specializing in global online data collection. We operate in over 130 markets and have a strong presence across all regions. I see people here from Asia, from Europe. We can cover those regions, America region as well. We work with many different type of businesses with one common goal. They want to have access to high quality consumer insights. We work mostly with brands, but also consulting, media agencies, and academic as our main type of clients. And this food delivery study is part of our ongoing efforts to track consumer behavior shift and market dynamics. So that's a little bit about us. So now it's 3 minutes past, so I think we can start if Catherine is okay with this. So hi again, everyone, for today, and thank you for joining our session. My name is Johan, I'm CEO of TGM Research, and it's a pleasure to welcome all of you for this session. Again, at TGM, we specialize in turning global data into local stories. This is what we did here in the study. And today we will explore one exciting topic, which is very close to home, UK food delivery. So the insight we will discuss today come from our TGM Food Delivery Insight 2024. As I mentioned, we specialize in multi-country study. We conducted, for this special occasion, a comprehensive survey across 34 countries to understand how consumer behavior is evolving in the food delivery space. In the UK alone, we surveyed over 206 respondents, aged from 18 years old to 55 years old plus, ensuring strong national representation and data reliability. So, from doorstep meal delivery to AI curated menu, the UK food delivery market has seen a remarkable transformation over time, and especially in the past couple of years, with consumer habit evolving, competition heating up, and technology pushing new frontiers. Now is the perfect time to take a closer look at where this industry is heading. In the next 25 minutes, we'll guide you through our key findings from our TGM Food Delivery Insight 2024, revealing who is ordering, why they are ordering, and what it means today for brands who want to stay ahead of the curve. So before we dive in, just a quick head up and housekeeping rules. Again, the session will run for about 20 to 25 minutes for the webinar part, and then it will be followed by a short Q&A session. Feel free to drop all your questions that you may have in the chats. We'll answer as many as we can live at the end of the session. For the one who don't have time to cover, don't worry, we'll compile and get back to you. Actually, there should be a link where you can add your question directly. So if you face any issue, please let us know. So again, at the end of the session, we'll go through all those questions and try to answer all the ones that we can. Otherwise, we'll get back to you. So yeah, thank you very much. Let's get started. Catherine, the mic is yours. Please, everyone, enjoy.
Thank you, Johan. And hello, everyone. So I'm Catherine Roscher, and I'm Research Director at TGM Research, and I'm really happy to have you all with us today for our latest Insight session. Before we dive into the data, let's have a quick journey through time to understand where food delivery in the UK is heading. It's important to see first how far it's come, because the way we order meals today has been shaped by more than a century of innovation, habits, and culture. So let's take a look on how it all began. Food delivery in the UK didn't start with apps or algorithms. It started with horses and handwritten note orders. So in the industrial area, home delivery meant that bakeries and dairies using horse-drawn carts to bring fresh goods to people's doorsteps. It was same-day delivery, but simply powered by hooves and not Wi-Fi like today. So then in the 1920s and 40s, telephone ordering emerged, allowing customers to place food orders remotely for the first time. And during the World Wars, the UK introduced state-organized food delivery through British restaurants, which is a really powerful example of how food logistics adapted to meet national needs. Now, if we fast forward to the 80s and 90s, fast food went mainstream, and many fast food joints offered delivery by phone. Then, with the entrance of international pizza chains such as Domino's and Pizza Hut, they brought really standardized delivery operations to Europe. With the onset of the digital age, we saw the rise of online platforms, aggregator platforms such as Just Eat, which was one of the first major European online food ordering services, and they expanded rapidly across the continent. Later entries were Deliveroo, which entered the UK in 2013 and changed the game with app-based delivery and real-time GPS tracking. And then in 2016, we saw Uber Eats enter the UK market, also an important player there. And then looking at the era most recently, the COVID-19 era obviously affected the food delivery market a lot. It basically supercharged this transformation as demand for food delivery surged. We saw also the rise of dark kitchens and contactless delivery and a renewed focus on tech-enabled safety and speed. Now, coming out of the pandemic, food delivery platforms weren't just focused on speed or delivery. They also began putting sustainability in the spotlight. So just a few standout initiatives that signal where the industry might be heading in terms of the whole sustainability theme. So Deliveroo, for example, invested around £2.5 million to help restaurants shift to compostable packaging, an important step towards reducing single-use waste. Just Eat, they partnered with the innovative startup Notpla to test seaweed-based packaging, and a creative biodegradable alternative to the usual not so compostable one-use packaging. Uber Eats leaned into green mobility, so they expanded their fleet with e-bikes and e-scooter couriers to cut down emissions in urban areas. And in a bold move to reimagine delivery itself, One Planet Pizza made headlines in 2021 in the UK with its first drone pizza drop. So that was quite a PR stunt. But some of these are not just PR moments. They reflect a larger shift in both consumer expectations and also corporate responsibility. So as sustainability becomes a decision-making factor for many customers, eco-innovation could become a key competitive advantage. So the UK delivery market is a mature and high growth industry. According to Grandview Research, they estimate that the market is worth over 31 billion USD in 2024 and expect this figure to rise to 46 billion by 2030, which represents nearly 8% CAGR, so compound annual growth rate. So what's fueling this growth? One major factor is consumer adoption. So according to Zego, 64% of people in the UK are actively using food delivery services. And as our own research, TGM's research reports, is that 48% of consumers order delivery at least once a week. So making this service part of the everyday life, and it's not just an occasional convenience for many. So when it comes to the market share in the UK food delivery space, according to Zego, the landscape is not very fragmented and it's shaped by three dominant players. So Just Eat captures the market share of 45% and leads the market. Meanwhile, Deliveroo and Uber Eats appear to have are basically locked into a tight competition as each capture 27% of the market. So now that we've seen how big the market is and who the key players are, the next question is, who's actually using food delivery and why are they using it? So now with the latest data from TGM on food delivery in the UK, we will break down consumer behavior across different groups to uncover what really drives people to order in. So first, let's take a look at how often people order in the UK. While daily usage is still limited, you can see here it's just 4% of respondents say that they order food every day, but nearly half of respondents say that they use food delivery at least once a week or more. So interestingly, here, if we compare the usage frequency of men versus women, men tend to use food delivery more frequently than women. So what actually motivates people in the UK to order in? When we look at the overall picture, the top reasons are fairly clear. So avoiding cooking and saving time on cooking and cleaning tops the list with 32% and 31% respectively, as you can see on the left-hand side on the slide. Followed by convenience during busy schedules, which is especially important in fast-paced lifestyles. But when we now segment the data by gender, the story becomes a little bit more nuanced. So for 32% of male respondents mention that convenience during busy schedules is their top reason, whereas for women, this reason actually ranks last with just 22%. For men, saving time cooking and to avoid cooking are the top 2 and 3 reasons to order in, whereas for women, to avoid cooking is the top reason to use food delivery. Women also use delivery when grocery supplies are low to a much greater extent than men. So for women, this reason accounts for 26% saying that, and compared to men, just 17%. So this could possibly reflect women's stronger role in household food management. So while now both men and women value ease and speed of food delivery, for men it's more about convenience in order to save time, whereas women use delivery to be able to opt out of the act of cooking altogether. So this kind of insight can help platforms fine-tune their messaging. So whether it's highlighting speed and flexibility or reducing the mental load of meal planning. So now that we know why people turn to food delivery in general, let's dig deeper into why they choose one app over another. So we can see that on the left-hand side of this chart that with 42%, trust in the brand name is the top reason for app selection, showing that brand equity remains incredibly powerful in this space. But right behind trust are more experience-driven factors, fast acceptance and processing of orders, for example, gets 18% of respondents saying that. The third most important reason is competitive pricing, which ranks third with 9%. And this is slightly more important with men than with women. A few more differences stand out when comparing men with women when it comes to their reason for choosing a delivery app. So for both genders, we can see that brand trust is the top reason for choosing an app, whereas men place a much stronger emphasis on brand trust than women. So for men, this figure is 46% compared to just 38% with women. And for women, fast order processing is with 24% twice as important than it is with men, where this attribute just amounts to 12%. So what this tells us is that brand matters, but it's not the only thing. So people also want a good app experience and obviously reliability. And these two aspects also need to be considered to shape consumer loyalty. So if platforms want to win in this space, they can't just rely on brand recognition alone. They need to consistently deliver speed, simplicity, and value, especially to meet the expectations of more experience sensitive users. So now to better understand consumer behavior, we segmented the UK food delivery users into two distinct groups based on how frequently they order. So one are the heavy users, which account about 52% of the market. And those are respondents who order almost every day, a few times a week, or at least once a week. And for this group, food delivery isn't just an occasional treat, it's a regular part of their routine. And then we have the medium and light users. These are more occasional users who order a few times a month or rarely. So by understanding the mindset and motivations behind each of these groups, we gain deeper insight into what drives their behavior. Now let's take a closer look at what motivates the different user types. So naturally, convenience and efficiency are important for both groups, heavy and light users alike. But what stands out on this slide is that for heavy users to satisfy cravings for specific dishes is with 26% far more important than for light medium users, where this reason ranks last with 19%. So we've seen now why people turn to food delivery, but what makes them, these heavy and light medium users, what makes them choose one platform over another? Let's have a look what drives their decision. So across the board, again, trust in the brand name comes out top with 42% for all respondents. But now if we look at the heavy users, brand trust matters more, because nearly half of them, 48%, say it's a key reason for using a specific app. These users tend to stick with platforms they know, where the experience is reliable and familiar. They also value fast order and processing of orders and a smooth user interface, which makes sense since they use these apps frequently, so ease and consistency are obviously key to them. For light and medium users, on the other hand, they are a little bit more value experience sensitive. So just 37% of them say that trust in the brand name is important to them, but they put more weight on fast processing of orders with 20% and especially competitive pricing with 12%. So if you compare this to the heavy users, where competitive pricing is just 7%, so that means the medium light users are more likely to shop around and look for the best deal or a fastest service in the moment. So to sum up, heavy users tend to stick with what works for them, and light users are more likely to switch to for better value or speed. So when it comes to actual app usage, which platforms are winning in different user segments? So here we ask, which apps for ordering food online did you use most often in the last 3 months? And for Just Eat, we can see that for total users, this brand leads with 33%, followed by Uber Eats with 29%, and then Deliveroo with 13%. But once we segment by usage frequency again into heavy versus medium light users, we can see that a clear divide emerges. So among heavy users, Uber Eats takes the lead with 36%. And remember, for heavy users, brand trust is key. And for Just Eat, while strong among heavy users with 28%, it's the clear favorite among medium and light users with a share of 37% in that group. So that just suggests that Just Eat is especially effective at capturing occasional orders, so those weekend cravings or spontaneous meal needs. So the key takeaway here is Uber Eats, it's the go-to for routine delivery users, whereas Just Eat is winning the casual crowd. But let's not forget about the untapped potential. So while food delivery apps are widely used across the UK, there are still people who rarely or never use them. So here on the left-hand side of the slide, you can see that in our dataset, 16% of total respondents say that they've either never used a delivery app or they only rarely use them. So meaning that there's still room for growth, both in terms of penetration and usage frequency. So when we look more closely at these two pie charts, we can see that if we segment the potential users by gender, that they are more likely to be women than men. And if we look at it by the two age groups, 18 to 39-year-olds versus 40 plus, we can see that there is not a significant difference. So which means we can find, are more likely to find these potential users amongst women. And in terms of age, we can find them in the young and the older age groups. Now that we've unpacked who's ordering, how often and why, the key question is, where does food delivery go from there? In this final section, now we want to connect the dots between today's behavior and tomorrow's opportunities. So we want to look at the innovations, strategies, and possible shifts that are set to redefine the future of food delivery in the UK and beyond. So one of the biggest forces shaping the future of food delivery is, unsurprisingly, AI. From personalizing what we eat to optimizing how it gets to us, AI is already transforming the user experience. So with smarter menus, food delivery apps can recommend personalized dishes based on your past orders, time of day, or even weather conditions. So it's not longer just about browsing, it's about being served what you are most likely to crave in that moment. So behind the scenes, AI algorithms are optimizing delivery routes in real time, shaving minutes off drop-offs, and improving efficiency for both drivers and also customers. AI is also driving dynamic operations. So it can, for example, predict order surges and adjust delivery fees or pricing in real time, and better manage driver availability to meet fluctuating demand. We are already seeing these capabilities in action. So for example, Just Eat has piloted an AI-powered chatbot that allows users to place and customize orders via text or voice. Based on the user history, their system now provides highly personalized recommendations. And Deliveroo is also using AI to optimize delivery routes in real time, making drop-offs quicker and operations more efficient. So in a market where speed and experience are everything, AI is the engine helping platforms personalize, adapt, and scale, and that faster than was possible ever before. So now, beyond food delivery, the frontier is ecosystem thinking, where a single app becomes your go-to for everything. So picture this, you open your food delivery app, not just to order lunch, but you also top up your groceries and use it to schedule a pharmacy drop-off, and maybe you even book a service, all these in one seamless experience. So this bundling of services brings added convenience, but it also paves the way for smarter loyalty programs. In these ecosystems, every action, ordering food, buying essentials, referring a friend, can earn users perks, discounts, or priority delivery. It creates more reasons to basically return to this app and much less reason to switch to a competitor. So Deliveroo has already taken steps in this direction by expanding beyond meals into grocery and essential household items. Meanwhile, Bolt is building out a true super app experience in Europe, combining food delivery, 15-minute grocery drops, and ride-hailing in one unified platform. So it's kind of similar like the rise of the Grab app in Southeast Asia, which by now is a true super app. In markets like the US and UK, Uber Eats has expanded far beyond just meals. So today users can order groceries, alcohol, even pet supplies, all through the same app they use for food delivery. And it's a clear sign that Uber is shifting towards something bigger, like a lifestyle platform that fits into more moments of daily life. So in a competitive market, being just a delivery app might just not be enough anymore. So convenience remains a key among consumer expectations. So as platforms scale up their services and tech capabilities, sustainability can no longer be an afterthought. It must be built into the core of operations. We are already seeing leading players take bold action, and the momentum is growing. So mentioned eco-friendly delivery options, so electric scooters, bikes, carbon neutral fleets are becoming more common across the board. And these small shifts add up, reducing emissions and helping companies meet both consumer expectations and also, importantly, they are following regulatory pressures. Transparency is also key. Some platforms are now showing the carbon footprint per order at checkout, so giving customers the option to choose greener deliveries or support restaurants using sustainable packaging. So it's simply a step that builds long-term trust. But sustainability is no longer just a box to tick. It's a real competitive advantage. And the platforms that lead in the space are set to win both customers' loyalty and also long-term relevance. So let's talk about what might seem futuristic, but is already becoming a reality: drones and delivery robots. So forward-thinking brands are piloting next-generation delivery methods that go beyond bikes and vans, so from flying drones to autonomous sidewalk robots. These technologies are redefining what fast and contactless delivery looks like, so especially in dense urban areas or hard-to-reach locations. But beyond logistics, these tools are also a powerful branding asset. These kind of things capture attention, create buzz, and position companies as innovation leaders in the eyes of the consumers. So adding to the momentum, One Planet Pizza is an example who completed their first drone delivery in the UK. Building on similar innovation is Mana Aero, which has seen success in Ireland and is planning to expand into the UK market by 2026. So the company is currently engaging with regulatory authorities to obtain approval for launching drone-based delivery service in British suburbs. So they are aiming to provide rapid and environmentally friendly delivery options to UK consumers. So whether it's scaling innovation or shifting toward greener, more efficient models, the companies leading on this front aren't just changing how we eat, they are redefining the entire delivery experience. So now we really would like to hear from you. If you have any questions, please drop them in the chat box, and Johan, our COO, will be moderating this session. He will be selecting key questions for the discussions, and of course, I will be here to answer them. Johan, over to you.
Thank you very much, Catherine. Super, super interesting. And I can't wait to see how pizza can be delivered from a drone directly on the window. Must be a very nice experience. So yeah, it's time now for our Q&A session. Once again, you can scan the QR code on the screen. Actually, I don't see the QR code here, but you have the link in the chat where you can submit your questions. So don't hesitate to send yours, even if it's last minute. For now, already have a couple of those. One question which is recurring, it's about how to build loyalty. So can food delivery platform build long-term loyalty, or will convenience slash pricing and very aggressive promotion campaign will always drive switching from one app to another one? That's first question to you, Catherine. Any insights?
Okay. Yeah, so we've seen that in terms of loyalty, where the trust in the brand name is important, we've seen that this is much more important with the heavy users, so the ones who use apps very frequently. So for them, for example, since they are already less likely to switch and using the same brand more often, it would be a good idea to lock them more into loyalty programs, that there's really no incentive of leaving to another brand. But also, since we know that the heavy users are already more brand loyal, is one strategy to try and convert the medium and light users into heavy users, as they are the ones who are likely to shop around and more than likely than heavy users. So I think the key is that these brands need to earn loyalty through operational reliability and maybe also consistent user satisfaction, and not just relying on incentives like short-term promotions and so on.
Okay. So in short, we also really need to move those light, medium to heavy users. Completely makes sense. One more question. So second question, which is still related to pricing and level of competition in general. Here you described a little bit the landscape in the UK. We have those three main players, Uber Eats, Just Eat, Deliveroo, which are clearly dominant. Do you think there is any room for new entrant in the UK today?
So yeah, this is a difficult question because it is a very consolidated market. And now earlier this month, there was news that the American company DoorDash acquired Deliveroo. So this is kind of a sign that consolidation is getting even tighter in this market. But I would say for new entrants to be successful, they could manage if they clearly differentiate themselves from the key players that are already in the market. So they could possibly find a niche, and if they specialize in things like, let's say that they are just known for being a sustainability-led platform, so offering zero waste and low emission delivery. Or maybe also like offering hyper local services, so where they just focus on independent restaurants in the area. Also specialized cuisine aggregators catering to dietary and possibly also cultural preferences. So in short, I think the barriers to entry in the UK specifically are quite high. But if a brand is very innovative, they could be successful if their model meets emerging consumer expectations that are currently unmet by the players that are present in the market.
Okay, thank you very much. You mentioned about sustainability, which is also another topic which is a little bit recurring. And actually, just to jump back on this second question about low emission delivery for sustainability. I don't know if we have the exact split of people who are getting delivered the food versus the one who pick up directly in the shop. But that would be interesting because I can see sometimes also a very high level of promotion for people who would click and collect, which can be also a new trend. So sorry, getting back to this question that I have here, is sustainability in food delivery just a trend, or is a future-proofing strategy and a must-have?
I think it becomes more and more a must-have because it's like consumers are more and more expecting this to be a part of the whole package, so to speak. But also, I think because it's not just there are regulatory pressures in many countries now, and including the UK, in terms of that companies are meeting their sustainability goals. So in terms of long-term strategy, I think it is very important to basically include sustainability in the long-term strategy of companies. So, and it also seems to becoming a core competitive differentiator, and not just to meet consumer values, but as I said, like to ensure this regulatory readiness.
Okay. Thank you very much. I have one more question in my list here. So once again, for everyone here, if you have some last question, please don't hesitate to submit, and we'll be happy to answer. So the last question that I have, Catherine, for you is about the gap eventually in the market today with different customer group. So which customer group would you say could platform increase, or at least try to increase more their reach when it comes to frequency and usage?
Okay, so I think we've seen that in terms of the frequency of usage, that we have male customers who are already more likely to be falling into the heavy users crowd, and they are basically prime candidates for loyalty programs, and also these apps could be making a bigger effort in upselling to this kind of customer segment. And at the same time, they need to better engage with female customers to basically expand reach, as we've seen that female customers represent a higher percentage in the potential user segment. So and are basically part of the real untapped potential. So I think by combining retention efforts for the core user base and targeted campaigns to possibly engage these underserved segments, I think that platforms can achieve a broader reach and also more frequent usage.
Okay, cool. Thank you very much, Catherine. So I'm just looking one more time. So I don't have any more questions. So unless we get some at last minute, I think we'll call it a day for today. So again, thanks, Catherine, for all those insights. Super interesting. And I really hope that everyone here enjoyed this session. Thank you all for joining. Thank you all for your questions and the engagement on this discussion today on food delivery trend in the UK. This report we did in many countries, again, in 34. So if you are interested to get inside, it's some specific regions, some specific countries, or if you want to run similar survey to deep dive a little bit more into consumer behaviors, feel free to contact us, and we'll be happy to support. So whether you contact us by email or on our website, please also don't hesitate to follow us, to follow TGM Research, because we are running those webinars quite regularly, about once a month on many different topics. But as you can see, is usually around the digital e-commerce landscape and so on. So feel free to follow us. For this full report is now available on our website as well. So don't hesitate to visit our landing page and website to explore more. Thank you once again, Catherine. Thank you once again, everyone from the audience today and our TGM marketing team. Great webinar. Let's stay in touch, and thank you very much.